The brand new activity Gambit, coming in the Forsaken expansion for Destiny 2, is available to play at E3. However, one of the most exciting features isn't necessarily this new activity, it's the fact that when you play it, the new weapon slot system is live. If you want to equip a sniper, a shotgun, and a rocket launcher, you can. So, what is this like? How does it feel? Is it an improvement over the Destiny 1 and or the Destiny 2 weapon slot system? Well, that's the topic for today's video, so let's get started. What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and today we are going to be discussing the brand new weapon slot system coming in the Forsaken expansion. Now, I've had a decent amount of time to play and adapt to this new weapon system. I had a private showing back before the convention center opened, and we were also able to talk to devs about this new weapon system, so you'll be getting that perspective as well. And then I just stood in line with everybody else and played it on the convention center floor. So, how is this new weapon slot system? Well, I should say first, we should explain what the heck is going on in the background gameplay with Gambit. Now, I've done 2 other videos on Gambit, so really quickly for anyone here for the first time, Gambit is a PvE-VP mode. You face off against another team, but you're in 2 separate arenas. The first team to kill their big boss that spawns wins. Now, you get your big boss to spawn by killing normal enemies, picking up the motes that they drop when they die, and banking those motes. If you bank a lot of motes, you're going to send an enemy boss to the other team's arena, and you can even send one of your players to the other team's arena to disrupt them as much as possible. So, that's kind of in a very short form what Gambit is, and that's again what you're seeing in the background gameplay. But you're also seeing this brand new weapon system, and it's really interesting. So here's how it works. It's not necessarily complete freedom. For example, I cannot equip 3 rocket launchers at the same time. Now, Bungie did say that you can equip 3 shotguns. However, that might just be with certain shotguns like the Acreus, the Legend of Acreus, that is a heavy shotgun specifically. Because essentially, what's going on is that the weapons that were classified as special weapons in Destiny 1, so mainly think sniper rifles and shotguns, those now have the ability to equip in the kinetic or energy slot. There is still very much heavy / power weapons in the game. Stuff again like rocket launchers, grenade launchers, swords, those are still going to be power weapons and you can't equip them to the top 2 slots. So, how is this all balanced? Well, according to the devs, through ammunition. So, a shotgun that's in the kinetic slot, for example, won't necessarily just rely on kinetic ammunition, it will be getting shotgun ammunition. Now, keep in mind, what I'm about to say is what the devs told us, this is what I experienced, but they were also very clear that things are still being fine-tuned for the future. But essentially, if you have an auto rifle on in your kinetic slot, let's say, and you kill a bunch of enemies and a bunch of kinetic boxes of ammo drop, those white boxes are everywhere, then you switch your auto rifle to a shotgun, if you run over those boxes, you won't get any ammo for your shotgun, because those boxes are specifically for that auto rifle. So then if you go and get more kills with your kinetic shotgun and other weapons, then you will get different kinetic boxes for that shotgun. So when you're using a shotgun, you won't get the abundance of ammunition that you would be getting if you were using something like an auto rifle or a traditional primary weapon. Now, you may be thinking, hold on, isn't that going to make it pretty hard to run double shotguns or double sniper rifles? Because you're going to have a hard time getting ammunition. And you'd kind of be right. In fact, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the big change with this new weapon system compared to Destiny 2 or even Destiny 1. The fact that you can run 2 shotguns or 2 sniper rifles or a shotgun and a sniper instead of the traditional primary weapons. And I did run double shotguns for a bit. I also ran sniper shotgun for a little bit, and also the bows that are brand new into the game. those would probably have likely had to been a heavy weapon before, but with this new weapon system, they can go in your kinetic or energy slot. So I did run with the bow and other weapons a lot as well. And frankly, it does feel a bit gimmicky rather than practical, in the sense that running double shotguns really isn't the best idea. As soon as you get into any sort of ranged engagement, you're like, oh, I should have a primary. I want my auto rifle, hand cannon, something like that. Double sniper is exactly the same thing. Like, there's a lot of scenarios where you put yourself at a pretty massive disadvantage. Now, sometimes, for example, if you're DPSing, I would say Callus, double snipers would be perfect. Like, what do you need other weapons for? You really don't. So maybe in those type of scenarios, it's actually pretty darn decent. But simply from my experience with the game, I'm not saying that having the option to run double shotguns is a bad thing. Far from it. I think it's awesome. But in terms of a practical gameplay standpoint, you're still very often going to want that primary weapon. It always has ammunition, it's capable of engaging enemies at a variety of ranges usually, it's just very versatile, and you definitely want that. Most people, I found, ended up running a Destiny 1 style of system, where it was one primary weapon and then a sniper or a shotgun. In fact, given the choice, almost nobody, basically nobody, ran two primary weapons. And that really shows the downside of the Destiny 2 weapon slot system, is that you really want access to more of that power available by equipping a shotgun or a sniper. Now, I keep mentioning those weapons because they were the only ones available to us, and the bow, of course. There wasn't actually fusion rifles available to utilize at all. I believe that they're still deciding whether those belong in the heavy weapon slot, or you can equip them as a kinetic or energy weapon, so we'll have to see later down the line. Now, even though Gambit has some PvP action, it is very different than the traditional PvP of Destiny 2. How will that be impacted with this new weapon slot system? Well, in one word, greatly. Like, there is going to be so much more shotguns, so much more snipers, especially that you're going to see in PvP. I do predict that most people will come to the same conclusion kind of I came to and most other people came to when they played Gambit, which is the Destiny 1 weapon slot system is superior, having a primary for the flexibility and then having either a shotgun or a sniper and then of course a power weapon. But I do think that there is going to be a fair amount of people in PvP that do run sniper and then shotgun, you know, the long range and the close range, and we've certainly seen people be deadly with both of them. In fact, this really brings up the question of time to kill. In Destiny 1, there was a lot of problems involving secondary or special weapons essentially, and primaries, and a lot of people felt that primaries weren't powerful enough to take down special weapon users. I mean, shotgun apes would just charge at you and you had no chance. People with snipers would constantly ding you even though you were getting shots on them. Like, it was a very frustrating experience having someone camping in the back of the map with an icebreaker the entire game, and there was basically nothing you could do because your primaries weren't powerful enough. And when you did have a primary that was powerful enough to gun down a shotgun charger like the Clever Dragon, it was nerfed. So there was some huge balancing issues throughout the entirety of Destiny 1's history. And frankly, we may run into a lot of those same issues, especially now that the primaries in Destiny 2 kill even slower than they did in Destiny 1. Like, people charging at you with shotguns and just tanking primary rounds was a problem in D1. Well, it's going to be a massive problem in D2. So I'm not sure what Bungie is doing in that department. When we played Gambit, it didn't feel like primaries were buffed in any way. Like, it didn't feel like auto rifles, pulse rifles, scout rifles were killing much faster than they are right now in Destiny 2. Now, that could change in the future, but if it doesn't change, you know, expect secondaries to really take over the Crucible. Now, some people are going to be fine with that. They like sniping, they like using shotguns, but get used to be killed by those a lot as well. Now, whereas I am slightly concerned about PvP, I am nowhere near concerned about PvE. PvE is going to become a bastion of amazing gameplay with these new weapon slot changes. Now, presumably, I'll be able to run just a primary weapon. I'm thinking something like the Better Devils. Then, in my secondary slot, why not run the Escalation Shotgun or the Escalation Sniper? And then I can run my Curtain Call Rocket Launcher. The amount of an increase to your DPS that will come with this new weapon slot system in PvE is astronomical. Like right now, it's worth utilizing an Escalation Shotgun over your Curtain Call Rocket Launcher when you're versing Argus, for example. Like I was able to pump out 1,000,000 damage in 10 seconds. But now, considering the fact that I can Titan Rally Barricade with a rocket launcher with cluster bombs, get all 5 or 6 rounds off immediately, then switch to a sniper and get incredible DPS, like, we are going to be taking down raid bosses super quickly. In fact, will Bungie rebalance some of the raid bosses in the game to account for this increase of DPS? That's actually a good question, and they haven't said anything about it. We'll have to keep our eye out for that. In fact, I've been mentioning some of the traditional weapons in the game right now. The Escalation Shotgun and Sniper, the Curtain Call, all of this stuff. But that brings up a really, really interesting point. What's going to happen to all of the weapons in the game right now? There's a lot of shotguns, there's a lot of snipers, and so on. Where will they end up? Because when we played Gambit, you could not transfer a sniper that was in the kinetic slot. You could not put it in your energy slot. That sniper that was available in the kinetic slot was only available in the kinetic slot. It couldn't move down. And that likely means that certain snipers and certain shotguns are just going to be kinetic weapons, and you have to equip them in your kinetic slot, and others are just going to be energy weapons. But again, there's a lot of guns in the game right now. Where will the Escalation Shotgun end up? Will it be a kinetic weapon? Will it be a power weapon? Will it be an energy weapon? It is going to be really interesting to see where Bungie puts all of these existing weapons into the new weapon slot system. And it could result in limitations. If your dream is to run the Escalation Shotgun in combination with the perfect Paradox Shotgun, well, you might not be able to. If Bungie assigns both of those to the energy weapon slot, you can't do that. So overall, I feel like the new weapon slot system is a drastic improvement. Although the ability to run double shotguns or shotgun and sniper at the same time is cool, it's fun, and I'm sure we'll see some people running that, it is definitely going to result in most people going back to the Destiny 1 style of primary weapon, special weapon, and then power weapon. It is going to be really interesting to see what Bungie does with the existing weapons in the game and if they change time to kill, but this is going to shake up the game dramatically in PvP and in PvE. It's going to be really sweet. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.